Hi friends, welcome to my channel or welcome back. This is probably going to be my last weekly reading vlog for a while. I'm trying to kind of revamp my content for 2022 and I just don't know if I'm going to have the space for weekly reading vlogs, if I'll have the energy. So I'm kind of thinking about how I want that to go. So right now, if I had to be completely honest, I haven't read anything in a while. My reading is just like not there. Every time I pick something up, I get distracted. I was attempting last week or 2 weeks ago to kind of fix it with some historical romances and it worked. So I'm kind of considering doing that again. But right now I'm reading A Pinch of Magic, which is a middle grade story about witches. I'm only a couple of pages in and I am liking it, but again, every time I sit down to read, I just get distracted, which I'm trying to allow myself to do because like I'm very much one of those people that like I commit myself to a hobby, and I've been doing this for 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in January, and so I feel very committed to making videos, reading, and so I need to allow space for other things in my life, video gaming, watching TV, watching anime, things like that. And so that's kind of what I'm actively trying to do. I think next year, if I have a lot of themed vlogs coming up that I have planned out. I would say about 6 months worth of content for next year already planned out. And I want to give myself those weeks where I'm not doing a themed vlog, kind of give myself a break. All that is to say that I'm not reading right now. I think the last thing I read, I don't even think I've wrapped anything up. I was supposed to wrap up last week's reading in a wrap up and I haven't done that yet. I completely forgot. I filmed like 6 videos today and edited them and got them all ready to post up until February, and it completely slipped my mind that I need to do the wrap up for last week. So I'm all over the place, but I wanted to do a clip to start this vlog because I really want to get some reading done this week, even if it's just some audiobook listening while I am playing some video games. I had the December plan to knock out all of these series on my TBR, and a lot of them were really big fantasy series, and like I'm just not there yet. If I decide to pick up a fantasy, it's going to be probably a Cassandra Clare, because I just need something that I'm already familiar with and something that's not gonna strain my brain. So if I decide to go the fantasy route, that's what I will end up picking up. It is like 3:45. My partner is about to be off work, and then we're probably going to make a snack, hang out a little bit, and then he's gonna play his video games. I'll play some video games. I'll try to wrap up last week's reading and get that posted before 5. So it's gonna take a little bit, and I don't know if I'm gonna get any reading done, but we will update you later. This has been a 5-minute clip of me saying nothing, so we're gonna come back, I guess.
Sitting in silence, we still feel the vibe, and you could not say a word, and I know what you just decided. We'd be right in the same wave. All the water's perfect, babe. The heat is rising, the time is melting from my fingertips. So nothing compares to this. Nothing ever will compare to this. You and I making fire, I can take ya. I can make it better, baby. Running away every day, feeling the same in a different way.
Hi friends, it's now Wednesday. Monday and Tuesday I spent pretty much all day filming and editing, so I didn't really do a whole lot of reading, but I got 100 pages into A Pinch of Magic and I am enjoying this. This is basically about 2 sisters. Hi, bug. who live on this island that is connected to this island that has a prison in it. You guys notice? Their dad is at this prison and they live with their grandmother. Their mother died. And so there's 3 sisters, and in the beginning of the book, they are attempting to leave the island on Halloween unbeknownst to their grandmother. She shows up and tells them, you know, basically that they can never leave and that they're cursed, and if they leave the island, they will die. And the main character, Betty, and her sister, Fliss, are attempting to find out how to break the curse. And then I also started the Lies of Loch Lomora, and I was very concerned about this. I haven't really been super into fantasy recently. I haven't really had the mental capacity to pick it up. So I was concerned when this hold came through my library, but I picked it up this morning and it immediately gripped me. It is over 500 pages, so we'll see how long that interest stays, but I immediately was entrenched in the world. I was immediately interested, and I don't quite know the plot of the story yet. I'm only 5% of the way in, but all I know is it follows Loch Lomora, who is at this moment kind of like a street thief. He was an orphan who was either going to be sold into slavery or killed, and so this guy who takes in orphans and makes them commit crimes for him took in Locke, and now he's doing things for them, and we immediately recognize that Locke is incredibly intelligent and that he is very resourceful. So I think this is a heist novel. We've kind of gotten hints of him being very good at stealing. I just don't know where it goes from there and what the heist all is, but it has been a very long time since I have been gripped by a fantasy quite as much as this one has immediately gripped me, so I am interested in continuing. I did end up DNFing Nemesis. I don't know if I talked about it in my first clip, but it is a Marvel romance, and it's a villain and it's a villain love story, and it just had an early hookup, and so I didn't bother continuing. I know it's not gonna be anything great for me, and I might pick up other things in the series because I am interested in the premise of the series, and I'm also interested in the author's writing. She writes very well. So those are the reading updates, and we're gonna talk a little bit later on. Right now, as you saw, the ferrets are out. They are playing like good little ferrets, and they have their nice pretty winter coats in. Maybe we'll do a judge of their winter coats, and you can tell me who you think has the best one. This is Luna. Winter. She's my littlest girl. She's the second oldest, and she's definitely the feistiest. So then we have a Storm. She's the newest addition. Oh, thank you. This is her winter coat. Ooh, nice and luxurious. She's the chubbiest, and I personally think she has the best coat, but don't tell them I said that. And then we have Axel. He's my baby boy. He's the first ferret that I ever got. I got him when we moved into the house. Thank you, sweet boy. This is his winter coat. So good. So good. You did such a good job. You can let me know down below which one you think has the best winter coat. I can guess it's going to be Storm because she's just the cutest out of all of them, but definitely has the best coat. Okay, they're gonna try to knock over the tripod now that I brought it to their attention, so we'll get an update later.
Every time I look at you, I'm running out of air, and I don't even know where this came from, but I'm orbiting around you and it feels like you ain't there. Don't know what to do when the stars fall. They're colliding around me, need some Adderall. 'Cause I see you in my dreams. When you look up at the sky, it ain't always what it seems. Always orbiting around you.
I am 40% of the way through this book, Heavy Crown, something like that. and this is the last book in the Brutal Birthright series, and I'm just like immensely disappointed. This is about Sebastian, who is Ada's younger brother, and I have been like very interested in his character throughout the entire series, very excited to get his romance. In the first book in the series, he has always wanted to be a basketball player. Then an event between Ada and Callum happens that leaves him with a permanent injury that keeps him from being able to be a basketball player. And so he, through the rest of the books in the series, has been in the background, kind of just floating around, not knowing what he wants to do with his life. Slowly been more and more involved in like the mafia dealings of the family, but that's never something that he really wanted to do. He wanted to get away from the life, and he thought that as the youngest child, aside from Ada, that he would be able to do that, and it's not seeming that way. Now all of his brothers and Ada are involved in their own families, doing their own things, and it's seeming like he's going to have to take over the mantle. His heroine, Yelena, I think is her name, she is the mafia princess for the Bradva, and in the beginning of the book, Sebastian is walking down the street and he sees her being kidnapped and forced into someone's trunk, and he like rescues her, beats up the person that did it, and then, you know, takes her away. And they have like a night together at a party. They don't like hook up or anything, but they have a kiss, and then again they see each other at like an auction type thing, and it just doesn't feel like anything. And I'm having the same issue that I had with Dante's book, is that the beginning is them young, and it's just like very insta-love. Right away they are very into each other, and there's nothing there to support that. It's just like a sentence that says, I've been spending every day with this person, sneaking off to meet this person, so that there's no character work actually done to prove that they would be into each other. And it just is so emotionless. There's no connection. It feels so distant from me. Like there's no connection. And I think this is the issue that I think I have pinpointed, and I have the same issue with the Twisted books. There's so much exposition that just bogs down the story. I'm getting no dialogue. I'm getting no conversations between my hero and my heroine, and it just feels so heavy. Like there's so much going on, but nothing is really happening emotionally. Nothing is bringing our couple together in a believable way. They're not spending any time together that I'm seeing. I'm just being told that they're spending time together. And it just feels, I don't know, it feels empty. Like, I don't know any other way to describe it. It just feels like I'm reading words on a page. And I think I just want more. I want more connection. I want more dialogue. I want more understanding. Yeah, I'm 40% of the way through. They've already had their first sexual encounter, and it just feels very empty, and I am disappointed because I was excited for his book, and now I kind of just want the series to be over. Like I was talking to Letitia about this. She's a lot more nice about books than I am. I nitpick things, especially if I'm not liking it. And I was talking to her, and like we both have the same, you know, mindset of like, we've read other Sophie Larks outside of this series, and we both really like her books, and so we know that like better is to come, but we're just ready for like this series to be over, because it's just not, it feels like a waste of time. Hey.
Waste of time.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm ready for the series to be over, and I'm ready to move on to the Kingmaker series. But other than that, I got a little bit further into the Lies of Locke Lamora, and I still don't really know what the plot is. At this point, Locke has been taken in by a priest who seems to run like a scam church. I don't really know more than that, but like I said, I think it's like a heist fantasy, but we haven't gotten there yet. I did end up DNFing A Pinch of Magic. I marked it as like will return to, but I just don't know. Not a whole lot was happening with the magic that I was kind of reading the book for. I think when I pick up middle grade, I expect whimsy and fun, and this just wasn't that. So those are my reading updates. I will talk to you guys later. Hi friends, after a dinner of cheese sticks and Capri Suns, I have finished this one, The Heavy Crown, or something along those lines, and I decided to give it 3 stars. It's kind of hard to describe because after like the 52% mark, it becomes intensely good. Like, I was in love with the story, and when I originally finished it, I was like, this has to be 4 stars. Like, it can't be a 3, it can't be anything less than 4. Looking back at the beginning half of the book, I knew it couldn't. And like, I know that's only a star difference, but I'm a very like mood rater, and I tend to rate things based on my mood when I finish, which is really only a good indication of how I felt like the ending was. But looking at it objectively, I honestly thought about DNFing this at some point. Like, I thought about just throwing in the towel and just chalking it up to being the worst book in the series. But I pushed through and I really enjoyed it. But the fact that I considered DNFing makes it so that it can't be anything more than a 3. Like, on Goodreads, I was like 3.9999999 stars because it is very good after the 50% mark, but for the romance aspect, it just did not work. Their relationship itself, so much the same as Dante and Simone. Like, the way that they got together, the feelings, how quick everything was, how insta-love everything was, all of it just felt very similar. If I were to like rate the couples in the series, they would be neck and neck because they just felt like the exact same couple. So if I were to rate it based on the enjoyment of the books, I would go Brutal Prince, Savage Lover, Stolen Heir, Heavy Crown, Bloody Heart, and Broken Vow. And then if I was going to rate it on the couples, I would say Miko and Nessa, Ada and Kellum, Nero and Camille, Rylan and Riona, even though I hated their book, and Seb and Yelena, and Dante and Simone are kind of like interchangeable. And even though I put Miko and Nessa above Ada and Kellum, who they were my favorite book, but I think outside of their book, outside of The Stolen Heir, I liked their relationship. Like, seeing Miko and Nessa outside of their own book in the other couples' books made me like them a lot more. Whereas Ada and Kellum's book was good, but outside of that, they were kind of non-existent in the rest of the series. So, liked Nero and Camille okay. I think I liked their book so much because of like the car aspects of it. Even though I hated Rylan and Riona's book a whole lot for the ending, I liked them more than Sebastian and Yelena and Dante and Simone, because they were kind of like the same couple. I would say if I were to recommend this series to anybody, I would say the first 3 books. So Brutal Prince, Stolen Heir, and Savage Lover, I think are the best in the series, and almost would tell you to skip the other 3. So that's my rating. Like, I just didn't really find this series to be very good, and I'm just ready to move on to other things. But now I'm not quite sure what I'm going to read. I'm probably going to go back to The Lies of Locke-Lamora. That's the update on my reading experience with The Brutal Prince and the last book in the series. Overall, a 3-star series.
I don't even know where this came from, but I'm orbiting around you and it feels like you ain't there. Don't know what to do when the stars fall. They're colliding around me, need some Adderall. 'Cause I see you in my dreams. When you look up at the sky, it ain't always what it seems.